scapegoat because they didn't want their people them to find out who they really were. But they're going to
Wait
be
a minute.
exposed.
She said someone was looking for a scapegoat. Listen to this now.
Someone here within this energy may be a drug dealer.
A drug dealer.
Alright, we got Morocco. The drug dealers, the
I
secret
don't
informant.
know no drug dealers
You picked this up in
personally.
a previous reading. Someone here was just looking for a scapegoat because they didn't want their people then to find out who they really
Oh,
were. But they're going to be exposed, alchemist.
no, I don't think he still sells
The
drugs.
secret informant is going to be exposed. Someone played a very dangerous game here trying to hide behind you. And you know what, alchemist? This was a part of the setup. Because if someone could lie and claim that you were a snitch, so that individuals could bring some form of harm to you to hide that they were really the informant, then they would get away with who they really are.
So an informant tried to make it seem like I did some snitching. I didn't.
This was part of this individual's plan the whole time. With the sending fake messages to themselves, someone was trying to make it seem like they had some form of acquaintance here with you. Someone here may have even lied and claimed that they told you something here. Something only they would know about whoever that they're around or have associations here with. Someone here may even be affiliated in some form of group or some form of gang. And this could be a masculine or a feminine. We got initials M, we got initials Q, and we've got Louisiana.
M and Q.
The name Kwan may be significant in Kimari.
Kwan?
We got M. I said an M already.
I only know one Kwan. That's Kwan Peoples that lives across the street from Kathy Jolly on 32nd Street. I ain't seen Kwan in shit. 10 years? 20 years?
Someone is a Mo.
M.
We got initials D.
Mahogany Black. Okay.
The name Damari may be significant.
Damari. I know Donnie Dwayne Flowers. I do not know a Damari.
We got initials P.
P. Letitia Karima Penn.
MVP.
I don't know anybody that sells drugs.
We got South Africa. Someone's name could be Mapaka.
She said Q. Anthony is a Q dog. Well, she said Quan, so she means a name Q, not, well, I don't know. I guess a Q could be a Q.
We got initials T. The name Piri may be significant.
Initial T, that's Thomas Stewart. Who else I know? Timothy. I don't know a Timothy.
Thomas.
Okay, she said Thomas. Thomas Stewart. Tommy. Uncle Johnny was married to Tanya. Her son was named Tommy.
We got Boston and we got initials U.
I don't know anybody with the name U.
Maybe significant.
Othman. Nah.
Muhammad.
Do I know a Muhammad? Okay, I hit the button, so God must want me to stop. Muhammad. The people that own the store is Muhammad. Seems like I know a Muhammad. Oh, Muhammad, who I worked for at the car wash when we were renting the couch at Anthony Johnson's house over near St. Vincent de Paul on, what is that, near 124th and Nebraska. We were renting a couch. Well, we gave him a $10 donation to sleep on his couch. He was being blessed by the Veterans Homeless Initiative, and they were paying his rent. But even though he didn't pay rent, I felt like, shit, we're using his couch. We're going to take a bath. We're going to, benefit from being indoors. Let's give a $10 donation. And he agreed. So we paid $10 a night for every night we stayed there. And I had gone over to Largo and St. Pete to work because, they were stonewalling me here at Liberty Staffing and what's the name of that place? People Ready. They were saying that I was on the do not return list And there was no reason for me to be on the DNR list. But, when they tell you that you can't force your way, Jessica Happeth would not respond back to me from Amalie Oil. And so they probably paid her off to not let me back to work there. So I went over to Largo and St. Pete and put in applications up and down US 19. And I had worked with the USDA one night, and I spent the night in their break room because a guy told me he was going to give me a ride back to Tampa because a lot of people drive over to St. Pete to work and then they commute. And when I went outside, he was gone. So I was like, oh God. And I worked the 3 to 11 shift. I think I didn't start until like 4 or something, but I was sitting there and I got put on by Hector. So I thought things were looking up. The man drove off. I didn't have anybody else to get a ride from, so I ended up sleeping in the break room. It was freezing cold. But they have these white, like chef, I guess, sanitary smocks that you wear. It's like a whole coat. And I took a couple of those and curled up under the table in the break room until daylight. And then I got up and caught the bus over to Meridian Car Wash. And we washed some cars. They have a great system and a great service there. And I washed and scrubbed so many rims, I was aching. So when I came back, and some Jamaican guy, he was probably sent there by somebody I know, but I thought he was just a customer. And as I was looking for people to give me a ride home, I felt comfortable asking him. As a Caribbean person, I felt like he might have integrity and I wouldn't have to worry about being harmed. And that was the same day a set was sitting at the bus stop waiting on me. And Galvin was like, yeah, she sat there waiting on you and you just never came. I'm like, bitch, all the great things I done did and your stupid ass sitting here talking about one day that I didn't show up. Bitch, please. Those gaslighters, there's something else. So when I came back, the girls were not with me. So who were they with? Probably John and Tia. I was so achy and I was just telling him, wow, I'm just so hurting so bad and kind of complaining about having to go all the way over there to work for somebody. And he was like, I know somebody who has a car wash and that's the way Anthony Johnson talks. And I should have said no because I needed the checks. The agreement with me working with his friend Muhammad at the store right across from the University Area Transfer Center. I'm going to work a whole week and I'll get $250 at the end of the week. And my life was in such shambles. I needed the money every day. I needed the money before I started work. And so I went Monday, I went Tuesday, but there is actually no cars that come to be washed. So I went and sat over at the University Area Transfer Center and I was making business calls, handling my professional business, trying to get my life in order. And I could see where the cars came up. No cars came up. So I said to the guy, let me walk around to the, you know, VA hospital and say, hey, we've got a car wash that we're starting up over here. It's $10. Would you pay now and then after work come and wash your car? I went to the library on Monday and I made these little car wash tickets. And if they had a ticket, I numbered them so that the people could present the ticket. I already collected the money and handed it to the guy, and I could help them generate income. They told me they didn't want me to do that. So maybe that's why, because they wanted me to sit there and be set up for having, stole some money or something. Some kids came in a car. It was 4 deep, teenagers. And I said, I feel murder in the air. And I felt like they were coming to murder me, but I didn't know why I felt like they were coming to murder me. So I was like, girl, you tripping. And now that I'm hearing about this Muhammad guy, the guy Muhammad owned the car wash. I think that was his name. And he owns another business too. And Muhammad, I'm not saying you did this. I'm just simply recollecting things, trying to figure out what's going on with my life. Well, I didn't continue to go. I said, there's nothing to do. I don't want to be sitting up there doing nothing. Send me home. If it ain't no work to do, I'm not sitting here trying to count $10 every hour. No, 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 no. You send me home. Let me clean up. Let me rest. Let me go out and find some more work. You know, I can clean parking lots. And I walk past the parking lot, it's dirty. I go talk to the people inside. Hey, will you pay me a little something, or give me a couple of meals, or give me a couple of wigs, or, you know, we can barter if I clean up your parking lot. And that's how I am. I don't want to be sitting around doing nothing. And so after I did not finish out the week, I told him he ain't got to pay me nothing. The 2 days I came there, you know, me making flyers for your business and making these little tickets and coming up with the idea to sell the tickets and walk around to, you know, the VA hospital. It's hundreds of employees there. I know I would have made $500 that day if they would have let me walk around and sell tickets, because it's something that people want. They want their car washed, and I present things very well. I help people to see it makes sense to do this. Even if we had to come in early to do the car washing, and he had just went and got his tank filled with the water and the chemical that makes sure that the car is streak free. It just was no cars to wash. And I was going through so much. If you're not going to let me sit over here and handle my business, and I got to just sit here and stand around doing nothing, I can't do that. So I just let it go. And Anthony Johnson was really mad with me. Anthony Johnson, I met at the church on Sly. It's really not Sly. It's the street after Sly where that hotel is. There was a school back there, and the church on the front street used to give out food to people who were in need, and they had a pantry every day at 1 o'clock. And so he was there, and his wheelchair wasn't working properly. And I kept looking at his wheelchair like, that looked like Josie's wheelchair. Now, of course, you know, if they make one, they make a million in one. But he had a i i iPad, and it looked like the one that Josie had, and same color, the rose pink. And I was like, I wonder if maybe he knows Josie. So I helped him get his wheelchair working, and he was like, hey, well, you know, take my number or something. And I think I was looking to, whenever I see handicapped people, this was a thing back then, I would say, hey, do you need your apartment clean, your bathroom clean? Because it's hard for handicapped people to get down around the toilet and clean their toilet. So I started cleaning bathrooms for $10 to $20, depending on what people could afford. So I thought, well, maybe he needs a couple of bathrooms cleaned in his place. And we started talking, and he said, well, take my number and call me. And for a long time, I didn't call him because I was like, God, can I trust him? I mean, da 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 da. The trust thing is big. Just because a person is in a wheelchair doesn't mean they can't hurt you. So we were having to move off the back porch of the Good Samaritan, and I call him. He's like, well, why are you calling me now? It's like, well, now I need help, and I'm forced to try to find some help, so I'm talking to you. And I didn't call him. I saw him on 131st. He was coming from somewhere, and I was like, hey, give me your number again. And he was like, I said, I need your help. He's like, why are you talking to me now? And I told him what was happening. So we eventually started coming there at night and paying the $10. He had a problem with the dog. He said, I can't have pets. It's like a pet deposit of $250. You can't bring the the pets. And we kept showing up with the pets, and they were small animals in little bags, and he was tolerating it. And he gave me a deadline after I didn't stay on with the car wash guy. He had an accident. He fell off of his wheelchair, which I really believe somebody was trying to run him off the road with a car, or somebody, you know, roughed him up for whatever reason, probably drugs and drug money. He had a girlfriend that was a Spanish singer, and she had a drug problem. And maybe he was trying to vouch for her. I don't know. But he ended up going into the nursing home, and he said, "You all can stay here while I'm gone." I said, "Okay, great." And while we were there, God told me to put the pictures in the window so people can't look in the apartment, because, he lives kind of like down this dark road. It's a cul-de-sac, kind of like a semicircle. And I felt unsafe. And that could have been because I felt like people were trying to kill me. But I covered the windows with the pictures, and I put cereal boxes in the window so that people couldn't peek in and tell if we had a light on or not. I moved the furniture around and put tables in front of the doors. And the room in his window didn't lock, so I put like his canes across the window to hold the window down. So I did the best I could to secure it. The girls and I were very grateful to be indoors, really, and have a safe place. And he called one night and he said, "Bring me my laptop off the." He had a desk at his place, and I said, "Okay." Now God told me, do not go into that nursing home. Do not walk your grown self in that nursing home. So I took a set with me, and I said, "A set, take this in and tell them you're dropping it off for Anthony Johnson." I stayed outside on the sidewalk by the Dunkin' Donut. She went in. We had a hard time finding it for first. We didn't get there until almost 11 o'clock at night, and it's dark at that time. It's on Fletcher. It's around a little bend. And she took it in there for me. I kissed her and hugged her, told her thank you, because I wanted to make sure that I did what he asked me to do. He did us a favor, so I wanted to do him a favor. And we took it in there to him. Well, she took it in there to him. She jumped on the bus one and went back. And I walked down to Nebraska, got on the bus. No, I caught the bus down to the Good Samaritan with her, and she, Melina, and Seth Aaron, and did Kevin come? And I think Galvin. They walked me up to Nebraska. I got on the Nebraska bus, the last 12 o'clock bus, and got back to safety, got back to the house with the girls. And that's the Muhammad that I know. I don't really know him, but I met him for about 3 days.